Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. I am Michelle Solis from Thismustbeink. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Seekonk, Massachusetts. This is very bright. Thanks for joining me. This is my Friday night Stamp and Sip workshop where the weekend starts early. And we've got a long weekend this weekend. So how lucky are we? We have an extra day to craft. Yay. Okay, so I don't always stamp and sip on a Friday night, but when I do, I'm stamping and sipping with all of you. Thank you guys for joining me. We are tonight going to make this pop-up panel card that hopefully you saw on my page. It opens like this, and it's got a little panel inside. Hard to see like that, but you'll see it when I turn the camera down. Hi, Carol. Thanks for stopping by, for jumping in, whatever I was trying to say. Hope you're feeling better. I'm glad to see that you're on here. Okay, so we're just about to get started. I don't think there's anything I need to tell you. I have just been creating up until the last minute this week not because this card is hard, but because I like to decorate all the panels of the card. So that makes it a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more time, but it's a fun card to make. So this is for when you want to do something special for somebody. Oh, good, Carol. I'm glad you're getting better. I'm glad you're feeling better. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera down. Hang on, let me get this down here. Okay, so you don't get completely seasick. All right. Here we go. Okay, yeah, you can see I don't usually start with a mat that's got stuff all over it, but I have been crafting literally like up until the last minute to get these cards done. All right, so take a sip of whatever you brought. I'm drinking some Oliver Blood Orange Spritz wine tonight. One of my favorites. It's lost a little of its fizz, but still good. All right, let's get straight here. There we go. All right, so this is the card that we're doing. I'm calling it a pop-up panel card. I don't actually know what this card is called. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for popping on. All right, so what you've got a regular card base, but it's 4 1/4 by 11, and it's going to open tent. Yeah, this way. Okay, it's a tent fold. That's what I'm trying to say. And then inside, you've got this piece, which is kind of a W piece. And that's going to pop up in the middle and create kind of a shelf here. And then a flat panel that stands up in the front. So it'll look like this when somebody opens it. You can put a message up here, or you can decorate up there. And then you can put, again, messages here, or decorate this ledge and then decorate in front there. So this was a baby card. Welcome, little one. Sending love and best wishes. I thought sending wishes would be cute with the little piglet blowing the dandelion. All right, so that's what we're making tonight. Now, let's see. What do we need? We need a piece of cardstock for the card base. I'm using Peaceful Pine tonight, and I'm going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. So I'm cutting it the long way instead of the other way as you normally do for a card. We're going to cut the 8 1/2 by 11 in half long ways. So you're going to get a 4 1/4 by 11 piece. You're going to turn it and score it at 5 1/2. And that's what is going to make your tent fold. So then I just put it in the corner here, make sure I line it up properly. All right, so that's my tent fold card. And then we're going to need the piece that goes inside. So this is the most important piece. And we're going to do another lengthwise cut, but this time we have to go a little bit smaller. So this is going to be 4. And then we're going to cut it down a little bit. It's going to be 4 by 10.5. All right, so there we go. All right, so this piece that's 4 by 10.5, we have to score this. Oh, why I put my arm down, I don't know. All right, we're going to score this 3 times. Once at 3 1/4. That'll be your first score line. So 3 1/4. Then we're going to do 5 1/4. And then we're going to do 7 1/4. Okay, if I could line it up, that would be good. There we go. 7 1/4. All right, so you're going to have all these little score lines. So you'll have these 3 in the middle, and that's what makes the magic. So this one right here in the middle, you've got 3, take the one in the middle. You're going to score that right in half. So we're going to do mountain in the middle there. Just line this up, make sure it's even. It's lining up here. And then just burnish that fold. And then these other score lines, I know it's hard to see with the white on the camera. These other score lines we're going to fold back. So that one, and then flip it over and fold back again. So what you're going to have is a W or an M for Michelle, whichever one you want. But that's what it's going to look like, okay? And that is what fits in your card here to create that display in the middle. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to decorate the front first. All right, so I'm using tonight the Relaxing Waterside? Nope. 1 second. It's Waterside Retreat, right? Waterside Retreat paper. So I've done mostly some fussy cutting tonight for this, just to make it easy. So this came out of the piece of DSP that had all the panels with all the scenes. So we just cut this one out, and that's what's going to go. Oh, I was going to stamp that first. 1 second. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I was going to put some birds on here, and I was going to put the sentiment on here. So I am using Peaceful Pine cardstock. So let's use the Peaceful Pine ink. So here we go. This is my new ink. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment right on the front here. Relax. And then I want to get some birds on here. And I'm going to do them also in the Peaceful Pine because it's my card and my birds can be whatever color I want them to be. But this is not looking like it's picking up the ink. Hang on. This is fairly new stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to make one coming in like that. He's dive bombing. One, let's go one going straight this way. And then we'll make this last one going up. If you've ever watched seagulls, you know they fly all different ways. They're very acrobatic. Okay, so that was my stamping for the front. Then I can put this on here. This paper is really hard to decide which sides to use. I love every single one of these prints in this paper. It's just beautiful. All right. So we'll get that on there. And then for a little added extra on the front, I fussy cut one of the little bicycles, and I'm going to put the bicycle on there. I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. I always pick my dimensionals and like they're all gone. I'm always down to the end. Can you tell I love dimensionals? All right, but that doesn't matter because you can use all these little edge pieces. We're just going to cut them into little pieces and we can use them. We can't waste these. They work just as well. All right, so we're going to just get some small pieces, which I need some small pieces anyway, so that works. And I need a small one up here. And I wonder if I can fit a small one on the handlebars. Yeah, I can. Okay. All right. I'm about to put that somewhere I'm not ever going to find it again because that's what I do. Okay. All right. So my only tip for this is the edge of the dock is right here. So you don't want to put your bicycle over here. You want to put your bicycle on the dock. So just make sure it falls in this area here. There we go. So that'll be the front. So now we can set that aside and we're going to decorate the interior. So this is going to attach, this is going to attach, and we're going to decorate the top and this side panel. Okay. So for that, you're going to need two pieces that are 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so we're going to just put those on your panels. And it's much easier to decorate this before you put it in there. Okay, so we're just going to put the DSP on. We can put our little extra stuff on once we get this in the card. But we want to get this DSP on here. So we're going to just lay this into those spaces. And then if you want to decorate the top here with the designer series paper, that piece is going to be 3 inches by 3 3/4. I just cut a piece of the paper with the flying birds. It has a nice big open blue space on that paper. And it's just the sky, which I thought was perfect. All right, we just want to make sure we're lining these up. There we go. All right, so now you have to decide how am I going to decorate this because it's going to come like that, right? You're going to have a ledge and then you're going to have the front of this one. All right, so my thought was I was going to put some pilings here. So this was kind of going to be the boardwalk and we're going to put some pilings here. So I do have 2 pieces of this same paper that I cut out and they're too tall. So we're going to cut them down. We want to make some pilings here. So I'm going to put one like that. So we're going to just cut that off. We're going to eyeball it. Like that. And then we'll make the other one a little bit taller. All right, so we'll go on the bottom of this knot there. Like that. Maybe I'll put the little one in front. Okay, I kind of planned this, but not really, so we're winging it. All right, so for the pilings, I wanted to make them a little bit rounder at the top. So just going to take the corners off of those, and you don't have to make it perfect because it's wood. It's not going to be perfect, right? Like that. And then to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional, you can take a sponge dauber, and I believe this is gray granite, so I grabbed my gray granite ink. So take a sponge dauber. Hang on, I don't know what color that one was. 1 second. Grab a clean one here. Doesn't look like it's clean, but it is. Shouldn't have any ink, right? Okay. All right, so we're going to just dip that in some ink. And we're going to just give this a little bit of shadow of gray granite around the edges, just to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Betsy. Oh, I have 2 Carols tonight. Hi, Carol. Okay. See, can you see the difference? So this one has some shading already here, but we'll do the other 2 sides. That just gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional look, I think. And this is a technique I don't use all the time. But once in a while, it comes in handy to create the look that you want. Okay, so that's all we need to do for that. So then we have our 2 little pilings there. That's cute. All right, so the other thing that pilings sometimes have is like rope wrapped around. So that's what I was going to do with my twine. I'm just going to use a piece of tape, just Scotch tape, and stick my twine down on the back. And then I'm going to go around a few times, make this look like it's rope there. Okay. And then once you got it the way you want it, just put another piece of tape, or you could use a little glue dot there just to hold the end down. And just cut that off. All right, so we have our little piling with the rope. Okay, so we'll get this one on. That one's going to need dimensionals. I think they're both going to need dimensionals. So this is a card that's going to be special for somebody. And we are either going to hand deliver this one, or we're going to have to put it in a special mailer because it is going to be chunky. But sometimes you just have to make that special card. Okay, and then we'll just get this one here. And so I need some dimensionals on this side. Okay, like that. Okay, then I did want to show you guys these trinkets. So I love these. These are the little trinkets that come with the suite. there's a bunch in here. There's 20 in here. So I've used a bunch already. I've put one on every card that I made with this set because they're just so pretty. So how I have attached them is I've given myself probably at least 13 inches of ribbon or twine. Actually thread, it's linen thread. All right, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to double this up and I'm going to cut it in half. And then I threaded it through. It's got that hole. And then I'm going to knot it. Like that. And I'm just going to make a big bow. Now you could do this all in one continual thing. Go around and then attach your, but nobody wants to work that hard. So we're just going to make a bow separately. Like that. And I'm going to get a glue dot and I'm going to make that attach there. So let's get a glue dot. And I'm going to put it right below that thread. And then I have a hair. Oh, maybe it's from the thread. All right, and then I'm going to just push that right on there. And it's going to look like it's with the same, right? It's going to look like it's all one piece, but it's not. There. Ta-da! Okay, so then I'm going to make myself a little, another little seagull. Okay, this is the other seagull that's part of the set. He's pretty cute, right? And we have a die for him, so we're going to die cut him. And by the magic, oh, yep, here's his die. It's got a little die that coordinates with him to cut him out. And by the magic of television, we already have one. So we're going to put him right. Oh, look, I just barely left enough space for him. I forgot that he's pretty tall. Okay, so we'll get a dimensional there. There's threads coming out of my thread that are driving me crazy. Okay. And he's going to go right on top of the piling. Right there. Cute. All right, so there's a bunch of other little pieces that we can play with and decorate our card. So far it's going to look like this when they open it. That's cute. And so we could put an or up here as well. Yep, I like that. So we're going to, I think I'm going to pop that up too. Can you hear the lawnmower? My husband's out there. He knows very well that I'm doing a live, but he's just bound and determined to get his lawn work done so he doesn't have to do it this weekend. I can't really blame him. All right, and one little dimensional up at the top that's sticking out. 1 second, we got to trim that off. Okay. We'll get this little or on there. Oops, oops, oops. Okay. So now we just have to decide what to do with all these other things, which I thought they were going to go up here, but now there's too much stuff up there. So we're going to maybe put them down here. So we can put this little life vest, and we've got a life, what do you call this? A life preserver. And we have a little buoy. Maybe he goes up there. A couple of life vests. All right, I think that's going to be good. All right, so I am going to just glue this one down. Maybe. My glue always just wants to make a liar out of me. It says, no, you're not. And then maybe this one can glue down. It barely fits in there. You do want to make sure that you're not using anything that's going to go past this score line here, because it'll get caught in the fold. Like this one. We can't put that one there. So maybe we just get two. And a buoy. Changed it up. There we go. Put the buoy down there. So he will go this way. And that will fit in that space better. So there we go. So that's what your card will look like when it's open. And we can put a sentiment up here too if you'd like. All right, so let me show you how to attach this. I lost the card. Oh, here it is. Lost the card base. All right, so for the attaching, what we're going to do, it's going to go in this way. Make sure you've got your card opening the right way. Sit this in. And what I do is I line up this score line in the middle with the score line in my card base. So we want to just overlap the two score lines, making sure that it's straight. Because if you don't get it straight, you're going to have this end be crooked as well. So you want to just make sure that's straight. When you're happy with it, you'll fold this part up. We're going to put glue here. Just on this full panel. And then glue this down, making sure you're keeping it straight. Okay. And then what you'll do is you'll fold this up just like it's going to fold. So down and down. And you're going to put glue here. And then you're just going to bring this part down and it will pick your piece up. Now, you can see it's a tiny bit crooked, so I'm going to just move it. I've used the liquid glue, so I should be able to move this a bit. She says, yeah, there we go. Okay, so now it should be lined up and perfect. So there we go. So there's the front. And then it's going to open, and this is what they're going to see. Ta-da! Okay, so let's put some bling. I do have some Peaceful Pine bling here. And my take your pick tool. I cannot live without my take your pick tool. I don't know how anybody else does it. All right, so let's see. I hadn't planned out my bling. And we only have 2 sizes. There we go. And we could put some bling inside. Nah, I'm going to leave it. I think the trinket is enough bling for the inside. Okay, so that is the one for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that. Here's the one that I did for the sample with the poo, the little welcome little one. This is a baby card. Sending love and best wishes. I forgot the bling on that one. I don't think I blinged any of these. All right, here's another one that I did with the cutest crew. And this is a good from all of us card. So when you need multiple people to sign. So I've got the 4 little dogs on the front, and I used a little postage die. That was from the advent calendar, actually. And then this one opens to say, have the best day, with the little die cut dogs on the inside and some paw prints. So there's that one. And you could really do this with any paper and dies. The last one I did with the Rolling Waves set. So this is the Rolling Waves, the beach scene that you can create with the die cuts and the little umbrellas, fun in the sun. So I combined it with, oh, what's it called? Rest and Relax. Oh, I already forgot what it's called. 1 second. Splash and Relax. Combine it with the Splash and Relax set. So on the inside, we've got wishing happiness floats your way. And we've got our little flip-flops and our little cup, sunglasses, and our little floaty. Okay, so really you can do this with any paper and set of die cuts and just create a little scene on the front and then on the inside. All right, so that's it for me tonight, guys. Let's get this turned around. There we go. I cannot see around my camera. Okay, so that's it. I'm losing things here tonight. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe you'll try it. I don't know. I know Betsy will try it. She loves to make cards with all kinds of panels and scenes and decorations. So anyways, if you need a special card, that's one that you can try. Okay. All right, that's it for me tonight. Everybody have a great holiday weekend. Be careful, be safe, and have a good time, and stay crafty, my friends. I'll see you next week.